Hey, so today I'm making fried pies, and let me just say, the first time I attempted to make this, it was a complete fail. So this is attempt number 2. So I'm just gonna add some berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries into a bowl, nice and clean. And I'm just gonna add a little sugar and a little vanilla. I'm not gonna add any lemon juice or anything like that, because the first time I did that, I just ruined it. It was just too much lemon juice, and I'm just not gonna add it this time. So I'm gonna mix this up until it's nice and combined and everything is coated up, and then I'm gonna move on to filling my pie crust. So here I have 2 pie crusts. This is my first piece. I'm gonna lay it down on my flour surface, and then I'm just going to spread it out nice and evenly, and I'm going to try to cut these into squares. But first I'm going to spread on some whipped mixed berry cream cheese just to add a little flavor. These pies are going to be really simple, so I'm just going to spread this cream cheese down first, and then I'm going to add on my berries. Just a little bit, not too much. I don't want it to squish out of the middle. Just gonna spread that on there like that. And now, using a spoon, I'm just gonna carefully put some of the berries in certain spots on this pie crust to make my sections for my pies. Now I'm gonna take my other pie crust and lay it over the top like this. Then I'm gonna find those little pockets to separate all of the pies, and that's where I'm gonna cut them like that. Now I'm gonna take my bench scraper and I'm just gonna carefully cut out my pies. And for the ones that might have a little extra dough, I'm going to take some of that dough off of there, and if I need to patch one up, I'm going to patch it up like that. And hopefully it stays. If not, then it's all good. Just like that. Okay, and this is how I'm going to crimp the edges, just to make sure it stays closed. Okay, now that I got my pies all cut up, I'm just going to cover them in a little egg wash, just because I can see that the crust was drying up and I don't want it to crack and all of my filling come out when I start to fry these pies. And this will also help them get nice and golden brown. I'm going to cover them really well, and then I'm going to fry them. Okay, now my grease is nice and hot. I had it preheating while I prepared these pies. So now I'm just going to drop it in one at a time, just so that I don't overcrowd my pie. Okay, so that first pie was not turning out right, so I took it out, and now I'm going to try another piece now that my grease is even hotter than before. So let's see how this goes. Okay, that looks better. Maybe my grease wasn't hot enough the first time. Let's see how this one turns out. Okay, this one is looking a whole lot better. It floated to the top on its own. Now I just need to get nice and golden brown on all sides. And these pies are looking good. The next one, I'm going to drop in 2 at a time. So now these pies are looking way much better. And what I did was I went back and I coated both sides of the pie with egg wash, just so that it all gets nice and golden brown like I want it to. And I made sure that my heat is cranked all the way up on high, so that these pies can get crispy but not burn. Just cook enough so that the crust is done and it's not burning. Sometimes I forget that recipes are trial and error, and I might have to switch it up in the middle of making it. Okay, now look at these pies. Y'all see what I mean? By the first one didn't act right. That's why I always put one test piece in the beginning, because if I would have just started dropping them, I wouldn't have known that they was not going to turn out this good. Look at this. I wish y'all could have seen the first fail, because those pies were a mess. These look amazing. So now I'm just going to plate them up, garnish, and we are finished. And here are the finished pies, made using only a few simple ingredients.